So we continue reading from Caitanya Caritamrita. We are at the Adi-Lila of chapter 1, text 91. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So yesterday in this verse, we read that how the Vedic literatures, they are, whatever is dealing with Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha is all cheating religion. So the first part of the Vedas is Karma Kand. And Karma Kand is cheating. Why? Because it will just take us up to Swargalok, but we will not be able to get out of the material world. Then there is another part of Vedas which deals with the Gyan Marg, the parts of the culture of knowledge, the Gyan Kanda. The parts of the culture of knowledge, Gyan Marg, and of mystic powers, Yoga Marg, are equally hazardous. For one does not know where one will go by following these uncertain methods. So we said, okay, Karma Kand is not good because it will take us to Swargalok, means we are still in the material world. Then there is a part of the Vedas which deals with Gyan, knowledge. And also a part of the Vedas dealing with meditation, yoga. Now, what is that? They are equally hazardous. Why? Because the destination, we don't know where we will reach by following these paths. An empiric philosopher in search of spiritual knowledge may end up most laboriously for many, many births in mental speculation. But unless and until he reaches the stage of the purest quality of goodness, in other words, until he transcends the plane of material speculation, it is not possible for him to know that everything emanates from the personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. His attachment to the impersonal feature of the Supreme Lord makes him fit to rise to that transcendental stage of Vasudeva understanding. And therefore, because of his unclean state of mind, he glides down again into material existence, even after having ascended to the highest stage of liberation. This fall down takes place due to his want of a locus standi in the service of the Supreme Lord. So the path of Gyan, for example, is very, very difficult. It takes people lifetimes and lifetimes. Why? Because it's based on mental speculation. And then, even if one reaches the point of self-realization through the knowledge process, even though he reaches self-realization, means he is not in the material world, means he is not in the modes. But where is he? Is in the Brahman. He's in the Brahma Jyoti. So he's not yet reached the spiritual planets. He's still just somewhere in between the spiritual and material world. He's in the Brahman, in the Brahma Jyoti. But what happens is that because he does not have the understanding that Krishna, that everything is coming from Krishna, that Krishna is the origin. What happens in Gyan, that they say that everything is Brahman. Everything is Brahman. So that the light is everything. So they are sitting in the light. But a person cannot sit there permanently. It's not a permanent situation. Although it is a liberated situation, it's not in the material world. And it is a pure situation. There is no goodness, passion, and ignorance there. But because he has not yet come to the platform of Vasudeva, what is that? Vasudevam Sarvam Iti. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that only when comes to the knowledge of Vasudevam Sarvam Iti can he actually get liberated from. So such a person who has reached the Brahman only if he also comes to the understanding that, yes, right now I'm in the Brahman situation. I'm the spirit soul. I am pure. But where did I come from? What do I have to do? Then when he says, I have come from Krishna, from Vasudev, what I have to do? I have to engage in his service, which begins by what? Hearing and chanting. Then his devotional service begins. Then he will not glide down into the material world. Otherwise, he will come back again here because of his unclean state of mind. Because the consciousness is always there. We can never get rid of our consciousness. The consciousness is still there in the self-realization, in the state of Brahman. And over there, if we are still thinking we are God, we will come down because we will have that desire to enjoy again into the material existence, even after having ascended to the highest stage of liberation. So just like Sukadev Goswami, he was on the Brahman platform. He was self-realized Brahman. But what? He heard the pastimes of Krishna, of Srimad Bhagavatam from his father Vyasadeva, and he got attracted. He became a pure devotee. The four Kumaras, they were on the Brahman platform. They were self-realized. Then they smelled the tulsi coming from the lotus feet of Vishnu. Then they became pure devotees. So then as far as any questions, comments? No? So as far as the mystic powers of the yogis are concerned,
sorry, what is the locus standi in the service of Supreme Lord?
Due to a want of his locus standi. Okay, let's get the dictionary meaning. I think it is the locus standi. The right or capacity to bring an action or to appear in a court. So it is that the understanding.
Okay.
Due to the want of his capacity, the understanding, the attitude. He does not have that service attitude to the Supreme Lord. So he's still thinking, I am the Lord. And that is an artificial attitude for the soul. So it will bring him down to the material world, although he has already liberated, although he left already the material world. He's liberated, he's in his pure position, but he's not in the Vasudev's goodness, that I am a servant of God. God is the origin of everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as far as the mystic powers of the yogis are concerned, they are also material entanglements on the path of spiritual realization. So we said karma kind, that is going to just take us up to Swarg. Then we came to Gyan. Gyan is, so Swarg, and then we will again, we are still in the material world, we are going to be suffering. Then we do the Gyan Marg, it will take us to Brahman, which is a liberated platform, which is beyond the material world, but we will come down again to the material world. Why? Because that we did not correct we are not situated in the correct attitude that I'm not God, I'm a servant of God. Then, okay, mystic powers. As far as mystic powers of the yogis are concerned, they are also material entanglements on the path of spiritual realization. One German scholar who became a devotee of God in India said that material science had already made laudable progress in duplicating the mystic powers of the yogis. He therefore came to India not to learn the methods of the yogis' mystic powers, but to learn the path of transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord, as mentioned in the great scripture, Srimad Bhagavatam. So what is that mystic powers only the yogis before could do? Fly from one place to another, go under the water, go in the space. But now with science has done that already. We are taking aeroplanes, we are taking submarines, we are taking ships, and then spaceships also. So mystic powers can make a yogi materially powerful and thus give temporary relief from the miseries of birth, death, old age, and disease, as other material sciences can also do. But such mystic powers can never be a permanent source of relief from these miseries. So by this mystic power, we can get materially very comfortable. Materially, we can get comfortable. We can make a palace for ourselves, get a lot of money, have a beautiful body, but it will be temporary. Why? Because again, birth, death, old age, disease are there. Therefore, according to the Bhagavata school, this path of religiosity is also a method of cheating its followers. Sorry. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly defined that the most elevated and powerful mystic yogi is one who can constantly think of the Supreme Lord within his heart and engage in the loving service of the Lord. So who is the best yogi? Who is actually a yogi? Best yogi, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 6.47, Yoginam api sarvesham madgatenantar atmana. The best yogis, he says, is the one who's always thinking of me within. That's what Krishna says. Means who's always meditating on Krishna. What does meditation mean? Not that we are just sitting fixed in one place and thinking of Krishna. No, meditating on Krishna, hearing about Krishna, chanting about Krishna, speaking about Krishna to others, doing service, going about, that is meditation on Krishna. That is constantly thinking of Krishna within the heart and engage in the loving service of the Lord. So we can see that how Bhagavatam from the beginning says all this karma kand, gyan kand, this yoga, all this is cheating religion. Because people think it's religion, but it's just cheating them. Why? Because the end result, what is the end result of doing this? Still being in the material world. Still not having the proper self-realization, not still being situated in the original, in our true self, original position. That's why Bhagavatam clearly rejects it, and Bhagavatam does not speak anything of these topics. It calls it Kaitava Dharma. So we'll continue with this purport tomorrow, if that's okay.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you so much. Caitanya Caritamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari.